Joining us in the studio, we have Dennis Dinwiddie from the Topeka Zoo, and we're talking about the conservation connection. This time, the African painted dog. Dennis, how you doing?
Good, Chris. How's your day going?
It's going great, and I got the shaky voice. Just got back from a trip, so of course things are settling in here. So
That's okay.
Sorry about that, but I'll tell you what's more interesting than a talk show host with laryngitis. It's finding out about the African painted dogs, right?
Right.
So there's a kind of a trend going that they're trying to name these things the African painted dogs as opposed to the wild dogs, right?
That's right. Historically, they've been called the African wild dog for so many years, but the term wild dog conjures up images that give people a less than favorable impression of them. They are a beautiful dog with an amazingly colored coat on them, so it's a natural thing to shift over to calling them the African painted dog. So they're widely known now throughout the world as the African painted dog.
All right, so tell us a little bit about this animal. I have a wild dog at home, but he's a miniature pinscher, so he's just wild. But tell us about the African painted dogs.
Well, the African painted dogs are a critically endangered species in that there are fewer than 7,000 individuals of them now surviving in the wild. They survive, of course, only on the continent of Africa, in multiple different countries in Africa, but they are losing ground fast, partly to habitat loss or to the fragmentation of their habitat. Largely to human and painted dog conflicts because they get too close to a village or a city, a town, and they are perceived as a threat, and so they're eliminated for that reason. But largely to habitat loss. And habitat loss can be everything from poaching to poisonings to development of places where they can no longer share space with humans.
So what can we do? What would society do to help keep their species around?
Well, the first thing we do is we support raising awareness of the fact that these are an amazing creature, that they are losing ground fast, that they are endangered, becoming critically endangered. And one of the ways the Topeka Zoo is doing that is by bringing Dr. Greg Rasmussen to the Topeka Zoo on Saturday, February the 13th at 6:30 p.m. He is an international expert on the African painted dog, having started now 3 different painted dog conservation projects across the African continent. He's coming to us now from the African Painted Dog Research Trust, where he is the founder and the executive director. So he is considered an international expert on the animal, and he's making a quick trip across the states before returning to Africa, and we were able to grab him and bring him to the Topeka Zoo for that free evening presentation.
And I remember he was here last year talking about the African painted dogs as well, so if you didn't get a chance to see the presentation, what are some of the quick highlights of his presentation?
Oh, the fact that the painted dog is in trouble, and he'll cover the challenges that the painted dogs are facing in the wild, but he'll also cover a lot of the great work being done to save them. For example, he pioneered a special collar system that when he puts those collars on the African painted dogs and releases them back into the wild, the collar does not inhibit their ability to take care of themselves in the wild in any way, shape, or form. However, it does give good radio collar tracking. It helps the dog to escape the many snares that just plague different parts of Africa now, that are trapping so many animals, causing so much death and so much damage to them. And this collar actually helps them to get out of one of those snares once they've gotten into it. It's amazing how the collar does that. Mm-hmm. So it's an amazing story that the painted dog tells, and Dr. Rasmussen will be here to tell it for them so that we can get some direct first-hand experience.
Excellent. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the conservation connection. This is something that you guys do on a regular basis. We talked about one about tigers that just happened over there.
Only a few weeks ago.
Tell us a little bit about that series.
The Conservation Connection is a program that we provide free to the public every other month. However, we also add a few in between the every other month. For example, this was not one of our regularly scheduled programs, but we discovered that Dr. Rasmussen is traveling the country for a short time right now before returning to Africa. So as we said, we reached out and grabbed him to bring him to the zoo again so that he can talk with the community about his specialty, the African painted dog. But the regular schedule is that every other month we bring in a national or international speaker to provide a free evening program to the community so that we can connect our community to conservation work being done all over the globe.
It's really some amazing stuff that you guys are doing over there at the zoo, and all the wonderful work that's happening over there. The community's really come together, and you guys, with all the expectation of all that wonderful work, that puts a lot of work on you guys that you have to do over there, and you guys seem to be very happy to do it, and you're doing a good job with it.
Thank you.
The garden, I wanted to bring that up a little bit. The Asian garden that's going in.
Right.
That's a bit of news that popped up since we talked last.
Going to be a world-class Asian garden at the Topeka Zoo. It's going to be an incredible feature at the zoo.
Excellent. We've got plenty of new things coming in, and definitely you'll want to check out the Conservation Connection. Of course, that's February 13th. That's coming right up, so get it on your calendar. Now, this is for everybody, kids. Kids will get something out of this as well?
Right. These are for kids of all ages. This is a presentation for the entire Northeast Kansas community.
Excellent. So kids like me qualify then?
You bet.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So how many African painted dogs do we have at the Topeka Zoo?
Right now, we don't have them on grounds at the Topeka Zoo. They had to be moved out temporarily in order to break ground for the construction that will be occurring with Camp Cowabunga. Another zoo had an excellent place to house them, so we moved them to that zoo because we don't want them right next to the construction that will be occurring. That would be highly stressful for them. But once that construction has been accomplished, we will be getting our painted dogs back.
Excellent. All right. Well, that sounds wonderful. I want to thank Dennis Dinwiddie to come here and talk from the Topeka Zoo about the Conservation Connection. Dr. Greg Rasmussen is coming to Topeka. You will not want to miss this. Very cool. You can find out what you can do to help preserve these animals, the African painted dogs. That is coming up February 13th, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Don't miss it. It's going to be great. Dennis, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. And get out and check out all the wonderful work happening over at the zoo. You just will always see something new over there. It's very exciting. And check out their website, find their Facebook page to keep up on all the details.